IT 9623I, the prosecutor versus Dragoljub Kunarac.
Thank you. I have the appearances for the prosecutor, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honours. Like yesterday, the prosecution is presented by Mrs. Sellers-Visser and Hildegard Özretzlaff.
Thank you. Mr. Kunarac, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Mr. Kunarac, you may be seated. Thank you. As you can see, Mr. Kunarac, your defense counsel is not present in court this afternoon, and that, we understand, is as a result of a communication received via the Deputy Registrar late this morning. Please be assured, Mr. Kunarac, that this trial chamber will not take any action today that could in any way adversely affect your rights. But as the continuation of these proceedings had been agreed to yesterday by everyone present, including your defense counsel, the trial chamber thought it only proper to open the proceedings as scheduled. We have received a notification from Mr. Prodanovic that he has been called to an urgent meeting with other clients in Belgrade, and that he has therefore left The Hague. The trial chamber was only informed of this fact at 10 minutes to 1 today. I wonder whether the registrar could read out the letter we received from the registry.
Yes, Your Honor. At approximately 11 o'clock this morning, Mr. Pantelic informed my assistant, Erik Vejabu, that Mr. Slavica Prodanovic, counsel for Mr. Drago Kunarac, and himself had to leave The Hague before the continuation of the initial appearance scheduled to take place at 4:30 this afternoon. Mr. Pantelic informed us that he and Mr. Slavica Prodanovic had just had a meeting with the Office of the Prosecution, and he also mentioned he was now called for an urgent meeting with his clients in Belgrade, and therefore had to leave immediately. He said that the OTP was fully informed of the situation and that the registry could contact them for any additional clarifications. He finally requested the registry to inform the trial chamber of this force majeure, as he called it, said that the Office of the Prosecution would do the same. In a subsequent telephone conversation an hour later, Mr. Pantelic informed my assistant that Mr. Slavica Prodanovic wanted to coordinate the proceedings with his other clients. He would also send an explanatory letter as to the exact circumstances of this sudden departure.
Thank you. Now, I would like to put on record that the trial chamber views the absence of counsel, be they defense or prosecution, from a scheduled appearance without leave, with grave concern. The trial chamber particularly deplores the absence of counsel today in light of his specific agreement to attend today's proceedings. Actually, yesterday, before we adjourned until this afternoon at 4:30, I specifically asked the defense counsel whether he was agreeable, and he said yes. The proceedings in this matter will have to be adjourned to a later date, and this delay is wholly attributable to the absence of defense counsel. The trial chamber expects to receive, as a matter of urgency, a written explanation and apology from the defense counsel, following which we shall consider whether to exercise our powers under Rule 46 of our Rules of Procedure and Evidence, which is a rule about misconduct of counsel. However, before we set a date for the continuation of the initial appearance, I wonder whether the prosecution can advise the trial chamber whether they were aware of the fact that defense counsel did not intend to appear today. Maybe they could also tell us their position as regards the plea to the indictment. So I wonder whether the prosecutor could tell us. address these 2 points.
We very much regret the absence of the defense counsel. After having been surprised by yesterday's development, we had prepared an oral submission regarding the factual basis of the charge for the charge count 41, to which the accused had pleaded guilty. Only after a discussion this morning with the defense, we suddenly were told that they had to leave immediately. We said that there would be such the hearing this afternoon, and they said they cannot attend, and that was it. We did, of course, not agree to their not attending here. But in the light of the discussion with the defense, we would rather not to proceed today and read out our submission on the facts. We suggest an adjournment, but we want to stress that we are very much interested in proceeding as soon as possible.
So, if I understood you correctly, you are not in a position to set out your position with regards to the plea to the indictment today, but we would rather put it off until our next hearing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Za mene je ovo iznenađenje. Juče što se desilo, ja znam sa moje strane zašto se desilo, a meni je jasno i sa tužilačeve strane zašto se to desilo. Povučena su 2 poteza. Da li ja imam pravo, kao što ste imali vi danas ili juče ili kad, da se sastanete iza medija, mada vidim i sada ovo da se ne prenosi, bar ja ne vidim sliku, ne znam da li je to po protokolu, da li je normalno, jer suđenje je javno, koliko sam obavješteno. Je li to istina? Da je suđenje javno. Pretresi i sve sad dešavanje.
Yes.
Da li se ovo sada snimalo? Da li se ovo snimalo do sada? Da li se... Ja nisam vidio ništa, na mom monitoru nema ničega.
It is a public hearing, so everything has been broadcast. Would you like to add anything?
Meni lično je potrebno, posle jučerašnjeg poteza javne tužbe, meni je potrebno bilo pravo konstatovanje sa mojim braniocima. Nisam bio mogućen. Očekivao, jutro sam probao cijelo vrijeme od 7 sati, jutro u pritvornoj jedinici da stupim kontakt sa njima telefonski, bilo kako nisam uspio. Ne znam, osjećam se bespomoćnim, a imam jedan vrlo fair i korektan prijedlog u korist javne tužbe. A sve u skladu totalne istine, po kojoj se ja nadam da smo mi svi ovdje prisutni upravo sastali se zbog toga da dokažemo jednu istinu i da kad se saznam tu istinu, da u stilu pravde dođemo do momenta krivice krivnje određene osobe. Potrebna je konstatacija u tom kontekstu.
Yes. Mr. Kunarac, you have, of course, a right to speak in a court, but I would strongly advise you to consult with your counsel. And we too are, of course, interested in expediting our proceedings so that you may state your reasons and your position. So therefore, we, as I say, we have just decided that our next hearing will be held in a few days on Friday, next Friday, 13th of March at 8:30, and we will ask your counsel, we will issue an order under contempt powers so that your counsel will be present on Friday at 8:30. And so I would strongly suggest that you then should first of all consult with your counsel before stating your views and your reasons. I wonder whether the prosecutor is agreeable. Friday, 13th, 8:30?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's 8:30 because at 10 o'clock another trial is going to take place. Yes? Yes, please.
Da vam kažem, da li mogu ja od vas kao predsjednika vijeća, u koga imam bezgranično povjerenje i vjerujem da ćete vi kao predsjednik vijeća, kao neutralan strana u trenutnom sporu između mene i javne tužbe, protumačiti mi i dati mi odgovor kratko, sad daj ne samo na jedno pitanje. Ali može to, ili bilo koji pravni savjetnik sad da mi to kaže, ali želio bih da to budete vi.
Well, let me state that under our statute, Article 21, you have a basic right to defend yourself in person or through legal assistance of your own choosing. You are now choosing to defend yourself in person or to state your own views or state your position without consulting with your defense counsel. You are aware of that you are now going to speak without prior consultation with your defense counsel.
Svjestan sam ovoga što radim, ali pitam da li postoje lice, jer moj advokat je otišao bez mog znanja, bez mog odobrenja, bez moje saglasnosti. Da li postoji neko u ovome tribunalu koji je neutralan, kome mogu da postavim samo jedno pitanje, jednu konstataciju, samo da mi pojasni pravilnik, sad to je sve, jer ja nisam pravnik. Nisam pravnik, samo jedno pitanje i završit ćemo sve ovo vrlo brzo.
Mr. Kunarac, we do appreciate the predicament in which you have been put by your defense counsel, who left without telling you, without consulting with you, and you have, of course, the basic right to have some legal advice, of course not from the court. We have just been told by the registrar that a lawyer is available here in the building, and he will be asked to provide legal counsel to you as soon as we adjourn our hearing. So therefore, rest assured that you will get legal assistance from this attorney, who will come and give you some legal advice and discuss with you legal points relating to your case. But as I say, we will adjourn now until Friday, a few days, this week, 13th at 8:30, and we will make sure that your counsel will be present here to give you legal assistance. I see that you are not satisfied. Yes, please.
Nisam zadovoljan odlukom. Jer sam ja pitao samo, bitno mi je, vrlo je bitno po mene, jer ovdje sam jedini ja koji znam pravu istinu. Javna tužba zna djelimičnu istinu, a moj advokat isto tako djelimično. Ja sam jedini koji znam pravu istinu i vrlo dobro znam zašto sam jučer rekao jeste, osjećam se kriv sam za tačku 42 koja stavlja me na teret. Jasno mi je isto tako zašto je javna tužba tada odrekla se, možda mislite u moju korist, nije u svoju, od tačke 42. Pojasnit ću samo to i završit ćemo. Jučer nismo pročitali optužnicu koja je predočena meni, da sam ja to tražio. I stoga ostali ovdje prisutni možda nisu bilo mogućnosti da uđu u svu tu optužnicu, dakle poznata je meni javnoj tužbi. I možda je zato vama bilo nejasno zašto je javna tužba povukla tačku 43. U stvari jednu tačku u optužnici koja se odnosi na mene. A to je ona povukla po tački 4, tačka 8, gdje izjavljuje i u ovoj optužnici da nema dokaza za tačku 43. Molim vas da pogledate tačku 4.8 i da pročitate zadnju rečenicu u tome, ili da je pročitam ja.
Sorry, did you mention? Could you repeat again? I mean, you said which particular point of the indictment? Are you referring to the indictment?
Da, u optužnici koja je meni data na uvid i koja je pokrenuta protiv mene i još 7, u stvari 8 lica sa te optužnice.
Well, before All right. We have decided that we will now adjourn until 5:30. Meanwhile, you will be able to get in touch with the lawyer who will give you legal assistance. And when we come back here, we reconvene for the continuation of this hearing, you will be probably in a position to set out your views after getting legal advice from a lawyer who is in the building. So we stand adjourned until 5:30 sharp.
All rise for Year Rule of